It's Friday morning, everybody is feeling depressed, getting ready to work. So Fog Football thought they would give you that little energy boost in the form of a video format. Screw Red Bull, nobody needs it. Here is your Friday morning transfer update. And I feel like for the last couple of days we've been talking a lot about Celtic and players that Celtic are looking to bring into their team ahead of the January transfer window. So we've talked a lot about Celtic and we're going to start this video talking about Celtic, and it's not my fault, honestly. It's like no other team in the league seems to be interested in signing players. It seems to be Big Ange. He's the only one that seems to be bothered in bringing players to the Scottish Premiership. So we will kick off with Celtic. Now, they recently signed Kobayashi, who seems a good player and could come in to potentially rival Starfelt straight away and partner Carter Vickers at the back. Now, recently they have been also linked with Alistair Johnston, a Canadian right back who is also at the World Cup. He's putting some good performances for Canada. He's looking at top talent. He's also attracted interest for Bologna, but it looks like he's going to Celtic. There's already talks about a deal being agreed, so we'll have to wait and see, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're announcing that, if we're making that official over the next few days. But I do think Alistair Johnston, from what I've seen, is going to be confirmed as a Celtic player. And now we move on to Mohamed Magdi. And you might be wondering, who the hell is this guy? Well, he's an attacking midfielder who plays for Egypt. He's currently playing for Al Ahly, who are also a club in Egypt. And this guy, you might have heard of him before. He's actually been linked with Celtic twice in the last two transfer windows. So, the last two seasons, should I say, both summer windows, he has been linked with Celtic. Now, in terms of play style, he's an attacking midfielder who has been compared to Tom Rogic, and we all know how good Tom Rogic was. And if Celtic can find another player that is similar to Rogic, that can have a career the way Rogic had a career at Celtic, then that would be an amazing signing. He is a bit smaller than Rogic, he's slimmer than Rogic, he's more mobile than Rogic, but in terms of style of play and his passing and his range and his skill and trickery, he has been compared to Tom, and that's not a bad comparison at all. Now, in terms of the stats, he's made 13 appearances for Egypt and scored 3 goals, which isn't a bad return. But what impresses me is his club form. So for Al Ahly in the last 3 seasons, in terms of appearances, he's made 43, 49 and 44 appearances respectively in those 3 seasons. However, he's managed to score 9, 9 and 11. So over the course of those 3 seasons, he currently has 29 goals, which is a pretty good return tally for an attacking midfielder. So yeah, I am impressed with that. He seems to be good at creating goals as well as scoring them. So this guy does look like a good baller. He looks like someone that could fit the Celtic style, the Ange Postecoglou style. And if he is confirmed to be a Celtic player, then what a team they are building. They've already got the best team in the league, and they're improving it. They're building upon it. So Celtic, like Ange says, they never stop, and at the moment they're not stopping in the transfer market. They're continuing to build, they're continuing to improve. And if it is Michael Beale that comes in as the Rangers manager, you feel like he's got a lot to catch up on. You feel like he's coming in, he's not coming in on a level playing field, he's not coming in close to Celtic. You feel like this current Rangers team could be a few transfer windows behind them, at least, considering the amount of players that could be leaving Rangers come the end of the season. That's what we're going to talk about next. Let's talk about transfers that Rangers are making. Well, at the moment they're not linked with anyone, so we can't really talk about players coming in, but we can certainly talk about players that could potentially be going out. And one of those players is, of course, Glenn Kamara. Glenn Kamara has been tipped to potentially be out the door come the January transfer window, as Italian club Salernitana are interested in acquiring his services. Now, I mean, Glenn Kamara, I can't imagine why he's attracting much interest at the moment. Maybe 18 months ago, 2 years ago, when he was first signed for Rangers, remember in the Gerrard title-winning season, he was great. He was pretty good the season before that as well. But I mean, lately, the last year, he hasn't exactly been delivering great performances. He can barely get into the starting 11 now, and he's just not the same player that he used to be. However, he's still attracting interest from top top clubs, and this might be a sign that he could move on. I don't know if he's happy about Rangers. I remember him coming out saying how he was sad about Bassey and Aribo leaving, which I thought was a weird thing to say. I mean, they might have been his friends, but at the end of the day, I mean, you're there to play football, you're there to win games, score goals, and you get paid to do so. You're not there to fucking talk to your friends at training or talk to your friends on the, the pitch. You're there to score goals, mate, defend goals. You're there to put in good performances and be a footballer. And I don't know if those two leaving has got anything to do with Kamara's, slump in form, but if Rangers can get any money for him, then I think I would be interested in selling. The Italian club want to bring in Kamara to partner former Rangers Lone Star Lozana Koulibaly. So maybe it'll be a good move for Kamara, maybe it'll be too good to turn down. Plus there was also rumours of a bust-up with Kamara and Gio after the 1-1 draw with St Mirren. But who knows, maybe with Gio gone now, Kamara might be a bit more interested in staying and he might find some of his form back. But I'm sure that'll be a decision for the new Rangers manager to make, whether or not he wants to keep Kamara at the club or let him go. But again, it will all depend on financial. I can't imagine Glenn Kamara's commanding the same sort of transfer fee as he was 18 months ago, 2 years ago. So it'd be interesting to see what the offer is. But for now, he's not really starting for Rangers. So if Rangers can get any sort of money for him, I think it might be a good deal to get rid. Meanwhile, Robbie Neilson has said Hearts will continue to take advantage of the Australian market as they look to bring in players. He says that the likes of Hearts cannot compete with the top clubs in the European market financially, so they have to go for the lesser known players in the lesser known countries, and for me that makes a lot of sense. Hearts have already had success bringing in Australian players like Devlin, Atkinson, Kai Rolls. We've seen Ange Postecoglou kind of doing the same thing with Japan, so I think it works for Scottish clubs, and if you can do this, then why not? Because we know financially Scottish clubs can't really just go to the big European leagues and compete for well-known players. They can't do that. So I think going to these smaller countries and trying to gain the signatures of players that perhaps haven't broke out yet, perhaps aren't that well known, is a good idea. Plus Neilson talks about how Hearts is an opportunity for players to come to the UK and to maybe earn a way into the international sides, to be given the platform to perform. And again, that is true. You look at Kai Rolls, you look at Devlin, you look at Atkinson, they've came to Hearts and they've broken into the Australian national team. So it makes sense, and Neilson looks like he's going to continue going down that Australian route. As for Livingston manager David Martindale, he says January will be a quiet transfer window for Livy because they need to fill the £200,000 void that has been caused by VAR. So basically, Livy manager David Martindale has says that he cannot sign anyone because of video assistance refereeing. So that must be an absolute bummer for him. I can't imagine they were going to spend that much anyway. But if they need to spend £200,000 on VAR, then that's their transfer budget completely blown out the window. And you know what, last but not least, Kevin Nisbet is expected to make his first appearance in 9 months in this weekend's friendly with Middlesbrough. The Burnley man has been out for a while, and while he comes back from injury, we did speak about it previously the other day, Martin Boyle's out for the season with an injury. So that's how it goes. Bad luck. Hibs get one player back for injury, but they lose a player for the whole season to injury. Sucks to be Hibs. Anyway guys, that's it for your transfer news. Not a lot happening, but in terms of players being signed, Celtic making all the noise at the moment. And that's it. But if anything materialises, if any more transfer news pops up, you'll hear it here first. So leave a like, leave a subscription, comment down below, and we'll catch you in the next video. Have a good day at work guys. It fucking sucks. And until next time, peace.